In the annals of Kenya's crime history, few cases have gripped the nation as tightly as the murder of Dutch businessman Tob Cohen. His killing in 2019 was not just a story of death, it was a tale of wealth, love gone sour, betrayal, and a justice system struggling to untangle truth from lies. Tonight, we reopen this chilling file and walk through every twist and turn of the Cohen case. Tob Cohen was born in 1950 in the Netherlands. He spent his early life working in Europe before settling in Kenya in the 1980s. For decades, Cohen lived in Nairobi, rising through the corporate ranks to become Chief Executive Officer of Philips East Africa. Later, he launched his own company, Tob's Limited, which specialized in golf tours and safaris, bringing in clients from Europe and Asia. Cohen became a prominent figure in the expatriate community, sociable, successful, and known for his sharp wit. But beneath the business success lay a man facing growing personal battles, most of which revolved around his marriage. In 2007, Cohen married Sarah Wairimu, a bold and outspoken Kenyan woman. At first, their relationship seemed glamorous, but over time it soured. Friends and neighbors spoke of frequent fights, sometimes loud enough to be heard outside their Kitisuru home. There were accusations of infidelity, bitter disagreements over property, and even legal threats. Cohen confided to some close friends that he was preparing for divorce. He accused Sarah of being controlling, while Sarah claimed Cohen was abusive and dismissive. Their marriage had turned into a battlefield, and sadly, it would soon become the stage of a crime that shocked the world. On July 19, 2019, Cohen vanished. At first, the disappearance raised more questions than answers. His phone went off. He stopped showing up at meetings. He didn't respond to friends or family abroad. Whispers quickly spread. Some thought he had traveled to the Netherlands to escape the stress of his marriage. Others suspected a kidnapping. The Dutch embassy in Nairobi raised concerns, while Cohen's sister, Gabrielle, began demanding answers. For weeks, police treated it as a missing persons case. But the longer Cohen remained missing, the more suspicions grew. On September 13, 2019, almost 2 months after his disappearance, the grim truth emerged. Acting on a tip, detectives searched Cohen's compound in Kitisuru. In a secluded corner of the garden lay a septic tank. The smell was unbearable. When they opened it, a horrifying sight greeted them. Wrapped in a blanket, tied with ropes, and left to rot in the darkness, lay the body of Tob Cohen. The nation was stunned. The successful Dutch businessman had not gone missing, he had been brutally murdered and hidden in his own home. A post-mortem revealed chilling details. Cohen had been tortured. His body bore deep injuries, suggesting blunt force trauma. He had been struck, restrained, and strangled before being dumped in the tank. This was not a random killing, it was calculated, deliberate, and merciless. The discovery immediately shifted the case. Sarah Wairimu, Cohen's wife, was arrested and charged with murder. She stood in court, calm but defiant, insisting she had nothing to do with her husband's death. "I am not a murderer. I loved my husband," she declared. But investigators painted a darker picture. They argued Sarah had the motive marital conflict, property battles, and jealousy. They claimed she conspired with unknown accomplices to eliminate Cohen. Cohen's death did not only open a murder case, it also opened a bitter inheritance battle. His siblings in the Netherlands insisted that Cohen had left everything to them in his will. Sarah, however, argued that as his wife, she was entitled to his estate, the Kitisuru mansion became a point of contention. Cohen's family insisted it was his alone, while Sarah claimed joint ownership. The dispute over property fueled even more suspicion. Was this a crime of passion, or was it a crime driven by greed? As the case unfolded, the Kenyan media erupted. Every development, every court appearance, and every leaked detail dominated headlines. From front pages of Daily Nation to primetime television, the Cohen case became Kenya's most watched crime drama. Some dubbed it Kenya's O.J. Simpson trial. Others compared it to crime thrillers. Except this was no fiction, it was painfully real. On social media, hashtags like Justice for Cohen trended, with Kenyans split between those demanding Sarah's conviction and those insisting she was being framed. The longer the trial went on, the murkier things became. Some claimed Sarah was just a scapegoat. Others whispered that Cohen's killing was bigger than a domestic dispute, possibly linked to business rivalries or powerful political figures. Why did it take almost 2 months to find his body, hidden inside his own compound? Why were there gaps in the CCTV footage? And why did certain testimonies from workers and neighbors keep changing? The case raised questions about corruption, police negligence, and the possibility of interference. Inside the courtroom, the case unfolded like a theater drama. The prosecution laid out evidence of premeditation. They argued Sarah lured Cohen to his death, with accomplices helping to conceal the body. The defense, however, countered that no direct evidence tied her to the crime. They accused the police of rushing to judgment and destroying critical evidence. Sarah herself accused Cohen's family of trying to lock her out of his wealth. Each hearing brought new revelations, contradictions, and explosive exchanges between lawyers. To some, Sarah Wairimu was a cold-blooded murderer who killed for wealth. To others, she was a victim of a patriarchal system, demonized because she dared to stand up to a powerful man. But one truth stood firm: Tob Cohen's death exposed the fragile line between love and hate, trust and betrayal. His killing left a scar not only on his family but also on the expatriate community that once celebrated him. At his funeral, held in Nairobi, diplomats, family members, and close friends gathered to say goodbye. His sister wept as she accused Sarah of betrayal, while supporters of Sarah insisted the truth had not yet been told. The murder of Tob Cohen remains one of Kenya's darkest crime stories. A man who came from far away, who built his life and fortune in Kenya, only to meet a tragic end in the place he called home. Was this purely a domestic dispute that spiraled into violence? Or was there a bigger conspiracy still hidden in the shadows? To this day, the case symbolizes the complexity of love, wealth, and justice. It reminds us that behind closed doors, even the most glamorous lives can hide devastating secrets. And so, the murder of Tob Cohen will forever remain etched in Kenya's crime history, a story of love gone wrong, betrayal, and a desperate quest for justice. If this story has gripped you, remember to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Crime Files for more stories of mystery, crime, and justice.